welcome to this short video training module for consultants titled In the Land of the Blind. You've probably heard the saying, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, and that is why consultants exist. Consultants are hired for their expertise, their pedigree, their great experience, their insights, their unique specialized knowledge. All of those things are why people typically need consultants' help. And oftentimes, it can be easy to forget that that is the case. It's also easy to forget the other person's perspective and experiences when you're looking to pitch your consulting services. I met many people who were hesitant in becoming a consultant, hesitant in starting their own consulting business, because I felt like they weren't confident enough. They felt like, well, I didn't really know that much more than the average person, or they felt like they didn't know enough. The truth is, if you've, read a number of books, worked in an industry for 2, 3, 5 years, you probably do know more than the average person on your unique topic. If you have a passion and you've gone to some extra training seminars on it, and you've just been paying attention to how companies work in that one way, whether it's project management or HR or marketing, you've probably picked up some tips and some insights that other people have just kind of brushed past, haven't paid attention to, or haven't taken the time to study at all. So it's really important to remember that you probably do have an area where you could be a consultant in. Almost everyone has an area where they have more expertise than the average person. And if not, they need to find your area of passion of business and study that before being a consultant or running your own consulting firm. But almost everybody does. So that is probably something you've already identified. You probably already know what that area is. But one tip is to just be very confident about your abilities in that area. Be very confident that not only do you know more than most people in the world about that topic, but you have the ability to find the information you need within that niche area very, very quickly. You have access to almost unlimited resources in terms of what's available on the internet, and within a single day you can probably pick up what is needed to complete some new strategic project for a client within the area that you work in. Another tip is that if you're early on in your consulting career and you don't feel entirely confident about some of the areas you're consulting in, is just to practice systems that help you improve your knowledge every single day. One tip I've heard from many experts and gurus is studying 30 to 60 minutes a day can put you ahead of all of your competition locally within 1 year, nationally within 2 years, and globally within 3 years. In other words, if you are a consultant, let's say in HR, you're an HR consultant, and you have an HR consulting firm. Maybe you started the firm kind of by accident. You got 1 or 2 clients, you weren't expecting it, and then you started calling yourself a consultant, then you had a consulting firm, and you don't really feel confident in consulting in all areas of HR, or even in some of the most profitable areas that would be fun, but you just don't feel confident consulting in those areas. What you could do is just study 30, 45 minutes every single morning before breakfast, maybe while exercising or just before work, before anybody else gets there, and just study every day for 45 minutes. After 1 year, you'll know more about HR than anyone else in your local city, or at least as much. Nationally, if you do 45 minutes of studying every day on your topic for 2 years, you'll probably know more than most people in the whole United States or the whole country that you live in. And what's important here is not that you're trying to say that you're smarter than all those people. It's that you're more dedicated, you're more tenacious, you've reinvested your time in studying more, and you might not be the most knowledgeable person in the United States on that topic, but if you narrow it down to consultants on that topic, you could probably get within the top 5 or top 10 within 2 years. And then 3 years on a global basis, nobody over 3 years of time is going to invest 45 minutes every single day investing in learning more about HR consulting. I guarantee you, it just doesn't happen. I've had the same experience in my own career. I once went from studying a topic for 30 minutes a week to 30 minutes every single business day, and within 1 year I was invited to speak in Brussels, in Belgium, just next to prime ministers of European countries on that topic. And that was after just 1 year of studying that topic. So, was I a global expert by then? No, but I was enough of an expert that I was invited to a global conference where I presented to 100 people. I've also been invited to speak in Russia and other places simply because I've invested my time every single day in studying some very specific topics. And you can do that for whatever field that you're consulting in. And it's really been a tip that's really made the big difference in my career running my own businesses. So I hope that you really take some notes on that tip. Figure out where in your day you can invest 45 minutes every single day to reinvest in a very specialized set of knowledge that's going to make a huge difference over the long term. The last tip here is that if you want to become an absolute expert and become very confident in the consulting that you're doing, then you need to take everything you're taking in from books, conferences, projects you've worked on, insights you've had, and kind of mix those all up inside and then teach other people so that you can create your own version of them. When you teach others through writing articles, through writing blog posts, by creating videos such as this, by speaking at conferences, by writing a book, what you're doing is taking everything that you've learned and synthesizing it so that you are, molding it in your own way and adding your own insights, and it really makes you internalize it to be able to then teach it to somebody else. You have to really understand it decently well before you're going to teach it to somebody else, and you're much less likely to forget it if you've taught it to somebody. So really focus on, as a first priority, studying for 30 to 45 minutes a day, every day. But after just 2 or 3 months of doing that, then take the next step up and start teaching others. It could be through 1 paragraph long blog posts. It could be through articles you write for a local newspaper or a blog somebody else runs if you don't know how to run a blog. It could be in writing a book, and you just write, you study for 30 minutes a day on a topic, and then you write for 30 minutes a day, and maybe you only write 2 pages a day, but then in 6 months you have a book done. So this is really a really critical thing for consultants to learn, because there's a lot of side benefits of it. You can produce white papers more easily, articles, books, news appearances, media appearances, conferences, speeches, doing your own workshops, webinars. The list goes on and on and on of all the benefits you'll get if you can get good at gaining the specialized knowledge, teaching it to others. Those 2 things are really critical to being a very successful consultant, and I hope that all of these tips related to confidence and being very strong within your areas of consulting are helpful. Thank you for joining us today. This is businesstraining.com, where you can earn master's level qualifications to help you make more money.